Hello, everybody. We're going to be starting the stream in a couple of minutes here, and if you guys want to be a part of the show, the best way to get to be a part of the show is just leave a comment on YouTube and or Twitter, and you can ask any questions you like. We're going to go over all the Vancouver Canucks news, the notes, some of the recaps of the last couple of games, and some other lovely, lovely things. I'll see you guys here in a minute. Cheers. Hello, everybody. What's going on? It's Jacob Doodle here, and welcome, guys, to afternoon / morning edition of the Vancouver Canucks news you might have missed. Also, we're going to be recapping the games that we just had, and I promise you guys we're going to be doing this morning. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. I have some few important announcements to make as well, just to let you guys know. I have some really exciting collaborations coming up, including some of your favorite YouTube content creators. So I hope you guys look forward to that. So let's kick it off right off the bat here with the Seattle Canucks game. It was an interesting affair. It ended 4-3 for the Seattle Kraken. And I gotta say, the Vancouver Canucks in general have played a lot better than maybe their record suggests, personally. I know that maybe some people might not agree with that, but they haven't been that terrible. Yeah, the record's been absolutely awful, but they've been playing okay. But man, they just cannot seem to get a win at home these days, and it's really affecting everything right now. It truly is. So that's not good in the least, for sure. So Cale Fleury scored the opening goal. Chandler Stevenson made it 2-0. Kiefer Sherwood, had a beautiful goal there, and Jake DeBrusk and Willander has been just so good. He's been such a incredibly positive story for this Vancouver Canucks team, and just overall in general. If this is a player that like the sky's the absolute ceiling for him. Like he has everything going for him. His future is extremely bright, and it's good to see his development continue to go the way we're really hoping it for it to go. It's so nice to see. As for Jake DeBrusk, man, Jake DeBrusk in the last few has been absolutely flying. This is the best we've seen DeBrusk here in a while. He's getting opportunities. He's skating hard. He's getting chances. DeBrusk has, I guess, kind of finally figured it out a little bit. And he was pretty unlucky last night to not get any points, which he probably deserved 1 or 2 for sure. And yeah, so Ben Myers got the third one there for Seattle. Jake DeBrusk scored, and Brock Besser and Petey got the assists. Again, Jake DeBrusk, that game before he did score, but last night against the Bruins he did not. But he's been playing much better. So if it was a way to kind of get him going, they did a really, really good job. What's up, Swervin' Irvin? Nice to have you in here, my brother. Nice to have you here. Always a pleasure. Yeah, we're doing a little bit of a morning stream. We're going to be going over some of the news and recapping some of the old games and getting Q&A and all this lovely stuff. But this is an experiment. We don't usually do stuff in the morning, so most of my fan base is all at night. But, you know, this is just something to try out. Right now, it's just me and you and like 6, 7 other people, but they're all being pretty quiet right now. That's completely fine. It'll start filling up as we get going. If you have any questions, whatever, about any of the last few games or any trade talks or anything like that, Swervin, let me know, okay? Linus Karlsson. So Karlsson has been, man, first of all, he just signed his new deal. It's a solid deal. I know some people said maybe it was a bit overpriced, but personally, I think it was right on the money. Right on the money. So, personally, I really think it's a good, solid deal. And he's been playing really well. He deserves to get rewarded. And, yeah, no problem. No problem, Swervin. No problem at all. Actually, some cool news for that, Swervin, is that Canucks Clay and we're going to be doing a collaboration coming up video. We're going to be recording it a little bit later today. So there's a little inside news and note for you if you really were curious about that. So that's actually kind of cool news. I actually got some collabs coming with Izzy. I got some collabs coming with, who else? Corey, of course. He's always on here. And who else do we have? Brandon Astle. We're going to be doing some stuff together. And we also have some other interesting ones as well. Is Linus Karlsson finally a puck digger EP40 we've been looking at for months? I'll say this about Karlsson, man. Like, he has the frame. He has a good shot. He has good hands. He goes into the dirty areas, which is something that I guess you've probably noticed, right? Like, he's definitely digging deep in those dirty areas. And if this is something that can be long-term solution, I mean long-term, I mean maybe in the next couple years. I guess short-term, I guess, would be more accurate. Yeah, man, wouldn't it be nice if he's that guy PD's been looking for? He has the talent. He's shown that he can score at the AHL level, so definitely interesting there. And Hronek, by the way, who's been also playing incredible, he's on defense. And Jake DeBrusk got the other assist in that one. As for the game itself, the Canucks dominated the faceoffs. The shots were about even. Power play percentage was 66-50. Canucks were 2 for 3 on the power play against Seattle, which was really nice. They had 23 hits. So overall, they played a pretty strong game, but they did not come out on top. Seattle did pull it out. As for last night's game against the Boston Bruins, it was 3-2 for the Boston Bruins. I always like beating the Bruins, man, but the fact we lost again kind of sucks. Yeah, it's funny that he plays the way he came from the Burrows. He came from the Burrows trade tree. You're right. Wow. That's actually certainly interesting. Burrows still the gift that keeps on giving, eh? So Boston, Fraser Minton, he's having himself a really nice, good season. Toronto is going to be kicking themselves for getting rid of him. He's been really good for Boston. Very noticeable. Something I've definitely noticed for sure. Pettersson scored the goal on a really nice play. Unfortunately, it was kind of like a deflection type goal. But hey, you got to be good to be lucky. Hronek, another assist. Carlson, another point. You're starting to see a little bit of a pattern, hey? Lindholm got an ex-Canuck. Lindholm got the goal. Pasternak, who is just, he is such a special player, man. And it's so much fun watching Pasta, man, play. It's seriously unbelievable. And McAvoy, who got absolutely massive hit on him a little bit later on in the game, got the assist there. Hronek gets the goal. Steve Buyam got the assist. I believe that's his first assist in the last 5 games, but he's been looking pretty strong overall. Man, it's crazy to think the guy's just 20 years old, really. It's unreal. I don't know too much about Corsi, but JPAT reported DeBrusk, Pettersson, Carlson had a 100% Corsi. What did I see? I thought they looked really good. I think that line is something that is going to be something, I would say, it's a line that could be more than just an experiment. This is something that we could roll with for a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if they let this run for a little bit. PD has been weird since he's come back. So the first game he was really good. Second game he was bad. He was pretty invisible. And then the last game he's been really, really good. So PD's been really up and down. And Carlson, man, he's been good, man. He's been really good. And he got deserved. As for overtime, Fraser Minton got it on a beautiful shake, rattle, and roll there from Pasternak. And, yeah, man, Boston won. The Canucks tank, I guess, lives on for another day. We did pick up a point. We've been picking up a little bit of points here and there. But overall, we're still losing games. I feel bad for the fans in the building. They just can't get that win. But it was a pretty entertaining affair, so that's interesting. Remember how Jake DeBrusk compared Lekkerimäki's shot to Pasternak's? I think that's going a little too far. Like, Pasternak's shot, like, the only person I would maybe compare to that is pre-injury Matthews, who has a shot like that. But Lekkerimäki does have an amazing shot, like, truly amazing shot. He just needs to work out the rest of his package there to be a regular NHLer. As for the stats here, shots on goal, 33 for the Vancouver Canucks. They were 32.8% on the faceoffs. On the power play, they were only 1 for 6. Boston Bruins were 2 for 3 on the power play. So that's a pretty big reason why we did fall to Boston. As for the penalty minutes, we had 6 penalty minutes to their 12. Hits were 32 to 16. So the Canucks were hitting absolutely everything. Block shots, 12 to 17. Giveaways were 13 to 15, and the takeaways were 6 to 3. Canucks beat them on December 20th, 5-4, and they beat us 3-2 on January 3rd. So last night's game was an interesting affair, man. I thought it was a pretty entertaining game overall. I want to just see more aggression in overtime. I understand why they do what they do, because they have Lankinen, who's just like probably the best shootout goalie of all time. And they just really want to just get to that overtime period. But Boston really put an aggressive play on us throughout that entire time. And it was really, really noticeable. Really, really noticeable. And eventually they just pulled out the winner there. So that's interesting. All right, let's get to some of the news here. So Elliot Friedman got everybody talking once again, and mostly with the whole Sherwood contract extension offer that was labeled about. So let's get right into it. As for the Olympic rosters, no player has asked to not be considered as an injury replacement, even though they're upset at not making the roster. That's actually interesting. I want to do a video on the Olympics here soon. Vancouver Canucks made an extension offer to Sherwood, but there's a big gap between the two. No timeline on when or if a trade of Sherwood will occur. So this is really important. Really important. Right off the bat, the Canucks decided that they wanted to go, after they traded Quinn Hughes, to do the whole rebuild. Then it was through a press release. Then they started talking about hybrid rebuilds, and then they're talking about hybrid retools and all these different phrases, whatever. But I think what Vancouver Canucks fans want is a plan. More than anything, they just want a plan. And it's important to have a plan, and not just to have a plan, but to communicate the plan to as many fans as possible, right? As for the whole potential extension, I think this is just posturing. I think this is just a way to get a trade eventually. Maybe it's a message. They're going on a big Eastern road trip here coming up soon. Maybe it's a message saying, hey, man, if you guys don't want to give us the offers, fuck it, or fudge it, or sorry, excuse me, we're just going to sign them. I don't think it's serious. I think maybe they went up on maybe 100 or 200K. I think as some of the reports here are saying, that, like we'll get to that in a second, could be up to $5 million, by the way, per year, which is pretty expensive. You got to manage the amount of years. But he's one of the best assets we have to get young prospects and or young players or draft picks. You got to trade the guy. He's not fitting our window. And we love Sherwood. Like, we love what he brings. He hits everything. Last night he had another 9 hits, 9 shot attempts. Like, this guy is all over it every single game. He's scoring at a really good number. But, man, I don't think this is... I think this is just something... Maybe it's a little bit of posturing here. Maybe the Canucks are just trying to figure it out a little bit here. I do wonder. As for the Edmonton Oilers, there's interest in Mangiapane. He's a healthy scratch again. He's a guy the Canucks, some people wanted to trade Jake DeBrusk for. So, or Brock Besser for, or something like that. I don't know. Has heard the Ducks are poking around Mangiapane, and the Jets are looking for some goal-scoring help. Yes, look out for Finland. Speaking of Lankinen, yes. Hot take, I'm okay with Sherwood extension if there is not a no-trade clause. That's interesting. So, sorry, I'll go back here. If there's not a no-trade clause. The thing is, you will be able to, that's actually not that bad because I think Sherwood will have value. But again, like, what is the point of keeping him around when we're not fitting that window unless you're keeping him really long, but then he's too old. So the only problem with that is, like, why? Like, I don't think he's going to be scoring at any higher of a rate. I don't think he's going to be hitting at any higher a rate. I don't think his value is going to go up from here. You might as well just trade him now. Like, this is thing. And what I mean by hot take is that he has more trade value now than where he's just around. Oh, I see. So you're saying that if you sign him to extension, but I think I like that. Not a bad take, actually. I will say the only thing about that is that I think a team, if they're going to get Sherwood, I think they're going to ask the Vancouver Canucks to see if they can get him extended. Also, I don't think Sherwood's going to have any problem extending in a lot of places. I think he just wants to, and he deserves it. I think he wants to get paid. I think he just wants to get paid, and he absolutely deserves it. He's been really good for us for years now. But I think you got to trade him. All right, we have Louis the Logger here. What's up, Louis? Nice to have you in here, brother. Do not keep Sherwood. LOL. We love him, but come on, we need assets. And that's my take as well, man. Like, I think in general, we need to go out, get the guy traded. Now, a lot of people think, and it's something I've been reading quite a bit, a lot of people think that this is going to be something like a first rounder, a good young prospect plus, or even a first rounder plus. I still am in the mindset, and I haven't changed this mindset, that we should get a minimum or a minimum of a first round draft pick or 2 second rounders. I would be perfectly satisfied. Fine. I don't think that's undervaluing him. I think that's just about right. I would be very happy with that. I would be more than satisfied with that. Now, if we get more, great. If we get, say, a second and third, it would be annoying, but at least we got something. Now, I think he deserves more, man. Like, Mason Marchment got more. Mason Marchment got a second and fourth, and Sherwood is a way better hockey player, right? Hey, what's up, Russ? I'll get to you in a second, buddy. Nice for the question there, Louis. And if you guys have any questions on the right side there on YouTube there's a Q&A. I think you can just leave a question there. We can answer it live on the stream. So I'm pretty sure you guys can go out and do that as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can do that. Let me just double check here if I have this up. Yeah, I do. Great. Yeah, I do. Great. Let me just remove this. There we go. All right. Let's keep going. What I mean by hot take is he has more value now than where he was rental. I agree. If extended. Yeah. I think his wife preparing ready to pop might be a factor for Sherwood. I don't know. But congratulations to them. We have Russ in here. What's up, Russ? Nice to have you in here, my man. Maybe it's a sign and trade. Yeah, well, they can do it. I'm like, this isn't a player that, I don't know. This isn't a player that can go and say that we need to like be very stingy on like who he signs with or like it's going to really hurt his value. I think letting other teams talk contracts with him, I think that would actually help in this scenario. But I'm pretty sure most teams know what it's going to take. Like anything in that 5 range, I think Sherwood would get no problem there. I think he's going to extend. Anything in that 4.5 range, I think you would actually, I do wonder if he would on a good team. You know what I mean? Hey, Russ? Like on a good team, I can see him maybe taking a little bit less of, maybe even a little bit less term and cap, or maybe just the cap. But it's just something to think about considering if he goes to, like, say, a bad team. But a sign and trade is definitely an interesting option. We've seen them in the past. All right, Swervin. Have fun over there, buddy. Later. But that's really, really interesting. All right, let's get to the next part of the news here. So, Drancer says, and by the way, big congratulations or big thank you to Drance. He hung out with us doing that Christmas thank you video, the Christmas Wishes Canucks video together. Him and a bunch of other media members, content creators, they all kind of came together. It was pretty cool, man. And Drance, you know, he's big in the market and he's always around, and the guy, you know, behind the scenes, like I know he has really controversial takes, but man, he's every time I've ever talked to the guy, he's been super polite, super kind. So I gotta say that for sure. Hey, what's up, Raj? I'll get to you in a second, my man. So, Drancer, he says, this is a classic don't get pre-mad situation. The Vancouver Canucks in the Rutherford era have historically circled back on veteran pending UFAs with an offer, Horvat and Mott, before executing a trade. And this is where I'm kind of thinking too. I'm thinking kind of in that same, I guess in that same little territory. Because if the Vancouver Canucks, just say in general, if the Vancouver Canucks have circled back and made the trades, I sometimes I really don't understand the reactions. It is pretty wild sometimes when you have something like this happen. It really, really, truly is. But I will say this, in the other way, like if I'm playing devil's advocate, you know, Vancouver Canucks fan, we're very passionate, right? And it's a good hearsay, right? It's good hearsay. It's good to talk about overall in general. So I kind of get, I guess maybe I get both sides. Maybe I'm kind of going around that. But I still think they're going to trade him. I think this is posturing. I think this is just a play. I don't think this is anything more than that, personally. That's what I'm just thinking there. This is from Canucks Army, or this is sponsored by Canucks Army. This is actually, I believe this was rink-wide. I think this is rink-wide. One sec. Maybe. Oh, I really wish I had that up. I do apologize. I think this is from rink-wide, though. Sherwood's AAV is going to start with a 5. I don't think the Canucks want to pay that. So exactly kind of what we're thinking. He was going to be in that 5 range. Maybe the Canucks went 4x4, something like that. And he's like, no, I can get a little bit more. Caps going up. I think some team will gamble on me. Maybe that's what they're thinking. So I still think he's going to get traded. Elliot Friedman reported that the Canucks made an extension offer to Sherwood. But Gaffar believes the discussions may be for trade-related reasons, and I think that's the case as well. As for Satyar Shah, he has a bit of a take here. If we want to talk about the vets showing the young guys how to play the right way, then Kane isn't the best example. By the way, before we get to this conversation, for all the people that are in here, thank you so much for joining us in this afternoon stream. If you guys can leave a like on the stream, it really does go a long way. If you want to be a part of the stream, you guys can leave a comment, you guys can leave super chats or become members, or you guys can subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the regular season. It would be amazing if you guys hang out with us here and talk some Vancouver Canucks hockey. We do regular content, so that would be great. Sat says too many flybys and lazy plays every game. Kane is a very Jekyll or Hyde type player. Like, sometimes he is noticeable and he plays pretty well, but a lot of the times I kind of agree with Sat, man. He does fly by a lot and he doesn't hit nearly as much as I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to be a big hitter. I really did. I'm not talking about in volume, but in size. Like, I just thought you'd go around and think, but what's happening with his career is he just can't keep up. And when he can't keep up, he's getting late to the pucks. So he's late on the pucks, you're not getting those hits or they're going around you, right? Still think he's like when he's on his game, especially playoffs, when everything kind of slows down in the sense of like it's getting more clogged up, there's more physicality involved. Yeah, there's still fast play, but there's definitely more physicality in the playoffs. I think his game actually goes to another level. Also, he gets that emotional investment as well. But I agree with this mostly. As for Adam Foote, yesterday's game wasn't the best start. Yesterday, like the second period, though, want more net presence. Gave up a couple goals that they shouldn't have. Lineup changes. Pedersen strapping defense returns with Joseph coming out. Last game against the Bruins. The Bruins were buzzing and forechecking hard. The young defense got over on to start the game, but they settled in, got more comfortable as the game went on. Shift length will be times where they get caught on the ice. Mentions how Bouillon and Willander did too much wrong. Sorry, this is the pregame media ahead. Oh, fuck, I'm so dumb. I thought it was the postgame. Sorry about that. Shift last night that led into the goal. All defensemen make the same mistakes when they're young to get stronger. As for stopping the Bruins, yeah. So this is, I actually put up the wrong graphic, so I'm a dumb here. Let me get the right graphic here. Give me a sec here. Give me 1 second. I got the wrong graphic. It's the life of live, I guess, right? All right, I have it right here. All right, there it is. All right. Sorry about that. Let me get this up. All right. I was wondering why it didn't sound right. All right. Got those up. Click that, click that. Get that. All right. This one and this one. All right, sorry about that. Let's get back to it. Oh, actually, before we get back to it, let's go back to the comments. There's actually a bunch now. Let's get right to it. I think he may give up dollars for years, and that's a possibility as well. Yeah, maybe. The thing is, if you're Sherwood, we need to really figure out what's the most important for him. If it's winning, then he's going to give up less money to play on a better team. Because if they do a sign and trade, right? If it's just money, he can go on a worse team or a team kind of that's in the middle, and he can probably get himself an extra $500,000 a year. I think it's possible. But I don't think a contender is going to give him $5 million X5 or something like that. I really don't. That would be surprising. Nice take. Only 6 points out. Hey, man. Nice to have you in here, Raj. Yes, we are only 6 points out, but we have like 6 or 7 people to jump. So every game that we get a point, most likely another team gets a point. So 6 basically, in a weird way, it's kind of like 10 to 12 points. Because every time we win, there's other teams playing. We would have to have everybody above us lose every game that we get points to actually make progress. That's the problem with being, yeah, in theory, it's 6 points out, but there's so many teams picking up points. Every time we go up, we just go back down. So I think the closer range is down. But I said it, I'm going to cheer this team on until we miss the playoffs. That's just the way I'm going to go at it. But yeah, I guess on paper, if you look at it, there's a chance. But we're 31st, guys. Like on NHL Tankathon, only the Jets are worse than us right now. It's wild. I think we still have a playoff shot, Victoria. So we have a couple of people that are really believe still, which is good. It's nice to see. What's up, Jude? Nice to have you in here. Always a pleasure. Classic Canucks hockey, 30 shots and still lose. Hey, man, 30 shots is nice. We were getting way less before. 30 shots isn't bad, man. Myers and Marcus Pettersson look bad. Is it because they play the top lines, or are they just bad? They're not just bad, especially Marcus Pettersson. These are really good defensemen. Myers has been good in the last few seasons. I don't think they're bad. They're definitely not top pairing guys like a Hronek or a Quinn or anything like that, right? So if they are playing more minutes, it's probably not the best for them. That being said, I think the system maybe is not working for them as well. I don't know what's going on with our defensive structure. It's been a little bit better recently, but there's just a lot of really grade A opportunities that have been given out. Kind of scares us a bit. Yeah, Hronek did do media, by the way, Jude. Yeah, that was pretty wild. It's very rare to get Hronek getting an interview, or doing a media, but it's nice to see, man, because he's been so good, and some people want him to have as our new captain, and he hates the media. Or he hates doing media. I don't know. It's really interesting. Really, really interesting. But no, I don't think it's because they're bad. I really don't. I don't think that's the case at all. I think it's just overall. They're also mentoring a lot of the young guys overall. I think that helps. Like, it's not so bad to have them around. I do wonder if guys like Pettersson want to be, like Marcus Pettersson wants to be around for whatever we're doing here, because he would have value around the league. I think there would be a team that would really give something decent for him. And Myers is gone in a couple years. He's just a mentor now for the guys. Louis the Logger says, trade. Louis. Yeah. I think you're going to be getting your wish here pretty soon. We have a bit of a road trip going on. If we don't have anything before the Olympics, I think we're not going to get anything until like maybe a day or two before the deadline. I think it's either we do it before the Olympics and teams can kind of learn a bit about the team and the city. They can get, accommodated here, or it's just going to be for draft picks and stuff, so it doesn't really matter. But I do wonder, I really do wonder if there's no trade here, I think it's going to probably take until right before the deadline, before they go out and make a deal. I feel like Rowan Media was weird. Our centers are good. Yeah, well, our centers are good, but Rossi's hurt right now. Pitty's been hurt a lot this year. And we definitely need more center depth, and we need more elite centers. Like, that's why I'm saying, man, like, if we get a top 3 pick this year, it makes such a significant difference. A top 3 pick. There's 3 guys, and I know 2 of them are wingers, right? We have Stenberg and McKenna. Those are the 2 guys everybody wants. But we have Lawrence, who's a center, as the 3rd pick. This is why if we come last place, worst is we can drop 2 spots, I believe. And if we can only drop 2 spots, that means we're going to guarantee either McKenna, Stenberg, or Lawrence, which means we'll probably get Lawrence, which means that we get a potential number 1 center, which would then make a huge difference. Coots can then slowly move himself up. He'll be a number 3, number 2 guy. Lawrence can be the number 1 guy. Petey can go down to be a number 2 guy while those guys develop, right? Rossi can, we would have more options, right? It's always good to have centers in an organization. That would be great. We need center depth. I disagree with you on that, Victoria. I see you down there. I think we do need more center depth. We can always have more center depth, but yes, obviously wingers is the most important position for when it comes to us, because we do have a little bit more depth now at center with Rossi, but we don't have nearly enough. And we don't have that, like, unless you believe Petey's going to be that superstar talent again, we don't have that potential superstar center, which if you look at the last Stanley Cup winners, almost all of them have. So it's a necessity. It's not a Kende. It's an absolute necessity. Our goal is not just to make the playoffs. Our goal is to win the Stanley Cup, right? Just needs to be healthy. Which free agents could go after in the summer? I think there's going to be so many people that are going to sign before. It's going to be a brutal UFA class. I think everybody's going to sign, man. I think people realize you can't just build through the UFA anymore. Maybe one or two guys sneak by and they're just going to go to teams like Vegas, New York, or Toronto, or God, somewhere else like that. I just don't see any real way for the Canucks to get any proper, real good UFA talent. But I haven't looked too much in the UFA crop. All I know is a lot of the guys have already signed that were half decent, and also with more cap available, these teams are just signing their own guys. You have to draft to win these days, man. Louis the Logger says, I honestly think that if we lose a few more games, the management will finally wave the white flag. They never waved the white flag. That's the problem. Like, they always, and it's not a problem that they're fighting that. Maybe that sounds bad. It's not a problem that they're always fighting till the end. It's just, they're never proactive when it comes to the rebuild, properly rebuilding. And they don't have any interest in doing a real proper rebuild. That's why they call this the hybrid stuff. That's why it's nauseating. Like, sometimes it would be nice to just try at least once in our lifetime a real proper full-blown rebuild. But they won't do it. They won't do it. We need more center depth. We need more high-end wingers. Absolutely. And this is why we got to go out and trade guys like Sherwood. Get more first-round picks or second-round picks. A couple of second-round picks. Wingers, remember, wingers drop. This has been around like since the beginning of time. Centers and defensemen go in drafts. We got defensemen, and we're okay at center. Yes, we need another elite center, but we're okay at center, and we got defensemen. Yeah, sure, we can use more defensemen, but we got good young defensemen, right? We need wingers, and guess what happens with wingers? They drop in the draft. They always drop in the draft. You can get in this early second round an extremely good, extremely solid potential winger, right? That's why you can build the winger position from the late first, middle first, and second round draft picks. You can do it. We've seen it done for years. I'm not worried about getting wingers. We're going to get wingers. They're going to drop. They always do. We need more losses first so management can get their head out of their asses and have some false hope for the playoffs. That's what they're thinking. 6 points out. Give your head a shake. We ain't making the playoffs. From Louis the Logger. Well, that's the thing. The whole 6 points is kind of like an illusion, right? Because we have so many teams above us that are going to get points. We would have to go on like a 9 or 10 game win streak to make up maybe 4 or 5 points. Like, I'm not lying. Like, guys, I've been watching hockey since I was born. I've seen this rodeo many, many times. And yes, hypothetically, it's possible. And I don't want to be a negative person about that. Hypothetically, we can make the playoffs. But realistically, I don't think we have it in us to make the playoffs. I don't think we're good enough to make the playoffs. It's not me not thinking we're good enough. It's literally our management went out and said, we are rebuilding in the press release. Then they're saying they're retooling and hybrid stuff. But the original press release said they're rebuilding. This is not just me. This is literally our management is saying this. Our management is saying this. So how can they now say, oh, we're close, we're going to go for it? No. Just stick to a plan, right? If your plan was to make the playoffs, do that, fine, whatever. No matter how much we disagree, stick to it, go for it. But that's not the plan. They said they want to do a rebuild, hybrid rebuild. And that means losing this year. That means losing next year. And then maybe trying to do something. Most rebuilds take 5 or 6 years. This one, they want to do it in 3. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But you can't just stop now because we're 6 points, right? And I'm not saying I'm going to cheer all for losses and stuff like that. As long as we have a chance, I'm going to cheer for this team. I love watching the Canucks one way or another. But die hard. But for the good of the organization, when we keep losing these games, it's not the worst case scenario here. Who's going to be a better player, Willander or Bouillon? Oh boy, that's a hell of a question. They're both so young. Man, that is a tough question because I've been insanely impressed with Olander. He's been so good. Like, he's blown my expectations and out of the water. I think he's been great. I would say Booyam has more elite high end, where Willander, you can have a potential number one defenseman there, but he's more in the like defensively, even though he has some offensive ability, he's more in like that. I would say that maybe like Seth Jones, in that Ekholm, Tanev, like really important defensive guys who can play a 25, 30 minutes of run eventually. Like, that's how high I am for Willander. Booyam, you have more like pop offense, right? Like, he can probably put 50, 60 points, right? Like, he has that going for him. I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think. McKenna isn't dropping. No, McKenna's not dropping. He's going to go either one or two. Our center depth is fine. I really like Stemmer. I really hope we get him. Yeah, very possible. McKenna is overrated. McKenna is overrated. This is from Jude. I don't think he's overrated. I just think that this draft, which was super hyped, and it is still hyped, maybe hasn't looked as good. But again, I'm not a drafty guy. I'm not a diehard drafty guy. I am going to have a lot of different content creators and media guys talk about the draft coming up, 100%. When we get closer to that time and talk some of the players, man. It's a lot of great conversations. And we're only 6 points out, a win streak, and we're a win streak of what? Like 9 or 10 games. Every time we get a point, one of those 5 teams will most likely get a point or 2, right? So we move up a spot, and then you have 5 or 6 of those guys get the points. We're still 6. For every 3 or 4 wins, we'll probably move up to 5 points back from the playoffs. That's the problem. That's the realistic problem. But again, of course, I would love to go on a 10-game win streak and make the playoffs, or 15-win streak. Sure. But I'm trying to think in realism, you know? But Victoria, I know you are the number one make the playoffs guy. And I really appreciate there's people like you that really believe in it, because it's nice to see, man. You get that contrast. Most of those teams are around 500. A 7-game win streak, and we're in the playoffs again. All right. Well, there you go. Victoria really believes in it. And you know what? Good for him, man. I'm happy that there's someone out there that really, truly believes. And if they do make it, man, like I said, I will be excited and be seriously really happy make the playoffs, and I'll be cheering them. But you will always be remembered as the guy who, from the very beginning, you said you were going to make the playoffs. So that's important for sure. By the way, we have over 300 people in here. Over 20 people on YouTube. Thank you so much for hanging out. Hit that subscribe button if you guys want to be a part of future shows. We do this. I have a ton of awesome videos for you guys coming up, including some collaborations. So it's going to be a great time. And yeah, great stuff. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I had a blast. I'm going to be doing some content now with some guys, including Canucks Clay and others. So look out for those videos in the next couple of days. It's going to be great. I'll most likely be posting it tomorrow. Okay. So tonight we got the stream, and tomorrow we'll get some other type of videos out there. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Go Canucks go. Let's have a good road trip. Let's have the good fruit games. And can we win a home game? Would be nice to see. That would be great. Cheers, guys. Adios.